You know this whole thing about detaining people who look a certain way, but who seem foreign, quote unquote? It's not new. It's a playbook this country has used before. And of course other countries have done this and that, but I'm focusing on this country, because this is where I live. Take World War II. After Pearl Harbor, 120,000 Japanese Americans, the majority of whom were U.S. citizens, were forcibly removed from their homes and sent to internment camps. Entire families, including babies and grandparents, stripped of everything and thrown behind barbed wire. Why? Not because they committed crimes, not because there was any evidence, but because they were Japanese. They were painted as traitors through official U.S. government propaganda. Films like Know Your Enemy, Japan, portrayed Japanese people as sneaky, animalistic, hive-minded, literally subhuman. Even Disney contributed to this effort with racist cartoons during the war. These weren't just cartoons, they were psychological weapons, meant to strip people of empathy for an entire group. What's sick is while Japanese Americans were in camps, their white neighbors looted their homes and took over their businesses. And decades later, the government admitted it had no basis. Ronald Reagan signed a formal apology in 1988 with the Civil Liberties Act, saying it was caused by race prejudice, war hysteria, and a failure of political leadership. Sound familiar? The same strategy was used against African Americans long before and after slavery. During slavery, propaganda depicted black people as childlike, savage, lazy, or hypersexual. Anything that would justify stripping them of autonomy. They used scientific racism, like phrenology, to argue black people were biologically inferior. All of this was used to justify slavery and all other brutality used against African Americans. Because if you just see them this way, what's to say that, why would you have any empathy for them? The same thing, like if you view these immigrants that come in as just like freeloaders or, they're just people stealing your jobs, like why are you going to care about any violence towards them? That's why people laugh. Some people were laughing at these videos of ICE brutalizing these people who weren't violent at all. They were just, regular people looking for a better life, and they were brutalizing them. And that's the kind of thing that dehumanization does. Look at minstrel shows, white performers in blackface mocking black culture, painting them as buffoons or threats. This wasn't just entertainment, it was propaganda, softening the public to accept segregation, disenfranchisement, and state violence. Even films like Birth of a Nation in 1915, a blockbuster at the time, showed the KKK as heroes and black men as rapists and criminals. That movie directly inspired a resurgence of the Klan. That's how powerful propaganda can be. So when people just say it's just law and order or it's not about race, I call bullshit. Because we've seen this before, and history always starts the same way, with a stereotype, with fear, with dehumanization, and then it gets worse, always.